Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to be covering how to publish our DITA content to a static HTML site using the easyDITA static site generator. My name is Velazar Demirev, and I am a Customer Success Manager at JORSAC. Most of my time is spent supporting our customers, learning about DITA, and teaching our customers about DITA, but I'm also passionate and involved in the startup community in upstate New York. Today, we're going to cover what a static site generator is, look at some of the benefits of a static site generator, discuss the technical details behind the easyDITA static site generator, and dive into a demo where we'll deploy a static site to Netlify. At the end, there will be time for questions and feedback. So what is a static site generator? To put it simply, a static site generator allows you to publish your single source content to an HTML output, which can then be hosted as a website. What we'll do here shortly is take our existing structured content, apply a template to it, and generate and deploy our output to Netlify. Some of the benefits of using a static site generator include easily being able to deploy your structured content to a website at the click of a button. Additionally, you're also able to easily style your output with CSS style sheets. And since the easyDITA static site generator uses React and Gatsby.js, it's all open source and you can easily extend your output using Gatsby templates. Being able to deploy your output quickly and easily isn't the only benefit. Static site generators compile your pages, removing the need to build a page for each request. And since you can deploy your output quickly, it's much more cost effective than if you were to build a dynamic portal. Finally, since you're hosting using a static site and not a database, it removes the headache of having to heavily secure your site as well. For the easyDITA static site generator, we use Gatsby.js, which is an open source framework that allows us to generate responsive sites quickly, while also giving us a large selection of plugins, tutorials, and a super helpful and resourceful community. For today's demo, we will be taking content that we've authored within easyDITA and deploying it to Netlify using our own static site generator template. Once deployed, we'll make some changes to the content, customize the look and feel of the site, and redeploy it. At the end of the demo, we'll have plenty of time for questions and feedback. With all that said, let's get into this demo. So let's get started by taking our existing content from a product manual and deploying it to a help site at the click of a button. So we'll deploy our website using Github and Netlify, which is a low-cost hosting solution. However, you don't need GitHub or Netlify, as this can be deployed just about anywhere. Before we dive in, let's take a look at our user guide, which is written in easyDITA. As you can see, this guide contains a wide array of topics and types of content. If you're new to DITA, you don't have anything to fear. Using easyDITA is just like any other word processor or text editor. While you still have access to the underlying XML code for your DITA files, most of your time will be spent within the easyDITA topic editor itself. Think of DITA as building blocks for your content. Elements such as sentences, images, tables, and much more will go within your DITA topics. And since you may need to relay different types of information, there are different types of topics to help you do that as well. Once you want to bring all your topics together, they'll go within a DITA map, which you can think of as a book of all your content. When you're authoring in easyDITA, it's important to note that you'll want to focus on your content and not worry too much about styling, as that's separate. Traditionally, if you were to author in something like a word processor, you would style your content as you write. With DITA, your content is styled at the time of output, just like you'll see today. A perfect example of this is if we take this user guide and we publish it to a PDF. If you take a look at this PDF we have here of this same exact user guide, you'll notice all of our content is styled and formatted in this PDF. Now, the beauty of easyDITA is we can publish this content to multiple different channels, just like a PDF or a static HTML site. So let's get started by publishing our static HTML site. We'll want to go to GitHub and scroll down in our repo, and you'll see this deploy to Netlify button. Once you click it, that will actually take you straight to Netlify, and from here, you'll want to connect to GitHub. And then you'll be greeted with a number of different text boxes you'll need to fill out. Now in this case, I'm going to start at the top and rename this repo to something different. And then start filling out my content. Now that I have my title and subtitle filled out, I'll need to fill out some extra information in order to make a connection to our easyDITA instance. And then we'll need to fill out the actual organization of our easyDITA instance. In this case, it's just JORSEC. Along with that, we'll need to grab the actual universal ID of our map that we want to utilize. And in order to make a connection, we'll actually need an easyDITA Content API token as well. Now that we have everything filled out, we'll go ahead and click Save and Deploy. And as this is loading, it usually takes about a minute or so, but once it finishes up, what it does is it actually creates a brand new GitHub repo for you, and it will build and deploy the content of that repo to a site on Netlify. And this usually takes about 3 to 5 minutes to fully build, load, and deploy. So to save time, we actually have a pre-built version here. As you can see, we have a full portal with this welcome page here that greets us, and we can start going through our content immediately. So if we go to Getting Started, we can view all of this content as it is similar to our actual user guide. So you'll notice if we look for how mobile view is organized within our actual output, we can do that. Type in something like organized. So there's our result, how mobile view is organized. And if we click on that, we'll be taken straight to the article. Now, you'll notice that this is the same exact content as we had within easyDITA, and it's also the same exact content that we had in our PDF that we published. So just like that, in a matter of minutes, you're able to publish this content to a fully working portal website with search and all of your content all on one page. It's that simple. Now, what if we want to make some changes to our content? Let's go ahead and do that. If we go back to our map, you'll notice that we have all of these different topics, and we can actually start to make changes to these topics. So first thing I think we can do is add a few extra topics. So let's go ahead and create a new topic. And we'll call it, how can I view metrics? And we'll create it. While we're at it, we'll create one more. Can I log off? And let's fill these out. Now that we have these filled out, we can actually add them to a specific part of our map. In this case, we want to add them to our FAQ. And just to make sure, let's go ahead and open our map and go to our FAQ. and you'll see there are our new topics that we just added. Now comes the fun part. All we need to do in order to get these topics into our easyDITA portal is go back to Netlify and redeploy our site. In this case, I'll go to my team and then go to deploys and trigger a new deploy. And this will take a few minutes, but once it starts building, we'll have this site updated very quickly. Now, as that's updating, let's go ahead and think about making a few more changes to our site. But this time, instead of content, let's go ahead and style our site a little bit differently. As you can see, this easyDITA logo doesn't quite match the product our site is built for. And additionally, it also has JORSEC in the footer, which doesn't match our product either. So let's go ahead and add a new logo, change the footer, and maybe change a little bit of the styling. I actually have a local copy of this site built on my machine, and you can do this yourself as well. But what I'm able to do is edit the styling locally, upload it to GitHub, and once it's on my GitHub repo, it will actually rebuild a new version of the site with my updates on Netlify. So let's go ahead and make a few changes. I have my old logo here. I'm going to rename it. And I have my new Thunderbird logo here. And I'm just going to rename that and just leave it as logo.png. Now, once we've updated that, you may actually notice that we have a local version of this portal running on our machine. So you'll notice once we updated the logo, we got Thunderbird right here. Now, beyond the logo, we also want to change out that footer. And instead of it saying JORSEC, we'll put Thunderbird, and we'll add an exclamation point. Let's go ahead and save that and go back to our local instance of it, and you'll notice our logo is updated and we have Thunderbird updated in our footer. And let's go ahead and take a look at our content while we're at it. These titles are styled the way they are, but let's say we want to add some color to them. Now, these are H1 heading 1 titles. So in order to style them, all we need to do is go back to Visual Studio Code and open up our global styles CSS file. And let's go ahead and style all H1 tags to have a color of, and let's see if we can match it to the logo color. In this case, I'm going to use the Chrome Inspector's color picker. There we go. So once that's done, I'm actually going to grab the hex value of it and go back to Visual Studio Code and enter in that hex value and save. Let's go ahead, go back to our browser. And as you can see, that actually changed the color not only of our titles, but some of our other items as well, which is perfectly fine. Now that we've made those updates, we can actually take this and deploy it to GitHub. That way, Netlify will actually build this. So let's go ahead and open up GitHub Desktop. And as you can see here, we've got our changes that we've made, and we can actually commit them. So let's write a commit message. And we'll go ahead and commit it and push our changes to our GitHub repo. Now that that's pushed, we'll go ahead and go to Netlify and see if our instance is being updated. And as you can see, we have our deploy being built right here in Netlify. Now, while that's building, let's go ahead and take a look at what we've done today and recap. So we were able to take this user guide for our Thunderbird product, and we were able to publish it to an HTML static site using GitHub and Netlify to host it. And once it was published, not only were we able to update the content and push those updates immediately to Netlify, but we were also able to actually style our site and update our logo, update our footer, and provide some updated branding overall to our static site portal. Now, this was only done in a matter of minutes, and you are always able to do this. All you need is a code editor, a hosting solution, and something like GitHub to keep track of your changes. And let's not forget easyDITA and our content within easyDITA. But once you have it all together, it's really quick to get something and build it and publish it immediately. So with all that said, let's go ahead and take a look at our deploy and see if it's finished building. Looks like there's a few more seconds left of the deploy, but once this finishes up, we'll be able to view our changes that we made live on our instance. And as this is finishing up here, it looks like the site is live now. So let's go ahead and preview it. And as you can see, we have our updates all right here. We made our update to our logo, we made our update to our footer, as well as updates to our titles. So in a matter of minutes, we were able to push a fully working portal of our documentation and update it to our needs and specifications. It's that simple. Thank you so much for taking the time today to view this demo